Welcome to this week's tutorial on how to use Articulate Storyline. We are happy you've come back and are wanting to learn more about how to use Articulate Storyline. In our previous video, we introduced you to both the Story View and the Slide View, then identified each of the tabs in Story View and what you are able to do on each tab. In today's video, we are going to do the same thing for the Slide View. In case you didn't catch last week's video or have forgotten what we discussed, I've posted a link for the video in the description. Remember, the Story View lets you set up and apply story or lesson-wide edits. You can add new scenes, transitions from one slide to the next, etc. Slide View is different. This is where you will be developing or editing the individual slide the learner will be seeing and hearing. You'll add the specific content you need the learner to know, whether that is the audio track you're listening to right now or the graphics on the screen you're currently viewing. Let's get started and look at the Story View's tabs and functionality. Moving left to right, we'll start with the File tab. Like in Story View, when you select the File tab, a pop-up window will appear, and you will have the ability to select various actions, including opening a new file, opening an existing file saved on your hard drive, translating the language in your lesson to a different language or dialect, importing either a portion of a lesson or an entire lesson into this file, saving the file with its current name, or saving it with a different file name, printing the lesson as a Word document, sending the file to someone in an email, publishing the file as a viewable document or lesson, or closing the file. You also can directly open a new file without searching for it on the right side of the window. Finally, there are two options at the bottom of the window we failed to mention in the Story View video. They are Options and Exit Storyline. Options will allow you to create rules for auto-saving the lesson you are working on and setting up your spelling check rules, while Exit Storyline will close out of not only the lesson you are working on, but out of the entire Storyline application. The second tab is the Home tab. It is divided into 7 sections. They are Clipboard, Slide, AI Assistant, Font, Paragraph, Drawing, and Publish. This is where we will start to see the differences between the Story View and the Slide View. The Slide View didn't have the Font, Paragraph, and Drawing options, because those items are inherent to items on the slide. If you haven't selected an item on the slide, then a significant number of the items in the ribbon will be grayed out. The clipboard allows you to copy and paste items somewhere is in the lesson, either on this slide or a different one. The slide section will allow you to change the layout of the slide you're currently working on to a different layout from your master slides, insert a new slide, change the focus order, or duplicate the slide as the next slide. Looking at the slide section, you can see next to the new slide and apply layout option a small down arrow or triangle. If you select the icon, you will get the default action. But if you select the arrow, you will get a pop-up window allowing you to select a different option. Focus order is a term used to help screen readers identify items on the screen. This feature aids visually impaired learners to be able to know not only what is on the screen, but also its context. Is the item something to engage with, or is it an on-screen graphic or text designed to help the learner to understand the material? The third section is the AI Assistant. This section uses generative AI to help you write new text, either as on-screen content or for the Notes panel, create an image, or insert an AI-generated audio track, such as a speaker or sound effect. You can also use this section to generate a quiz question, an entire quiz based on the content within the lesson, or generate a review or summary slide. The next section is the Font section. This is where you can adjust the font style, size, and color of the font for the Notes section and for the on-screen text. Remember, if you are using the Font section for the Notes section, you are only affecting the notes for the slide you are working on. Those changes are not applied throughout the entire lesson. In the Font section, you adjusted the appearance of the letters and words on the screen. The Paragraph section is used to adjust the spacing and positioning of the words and lines your learner will see. Again, this tab can be used for both the on-screen text and the text in the Notes section. Drawing is next. This section will be grayed out unless you have selected an on-screen item. The Arrange icon will allow you to group items together. This is helpful when you're making the same change to multiple items or want to move their position as a group to a different position. The Quick Styles icon and down arrow allow you to select pre-programmed fill and font styles. The fill colors and font style options are based on your lesson's current design style and program defaults. If you don't like these pre-programmed actions, you can apply your own fill, border, or shading effect. The final section is the Publish section. This is where you will be able to make changes to the player, view the lesson, or publish the lesson so others can view and review it. The player is the learner's user interface. You can control what interactive functions he or she can utilize during the lesson, along with setting the interface's color scheme and fonts. The changes you make to the player's fonts will not affect the on-screen and notes fonts. When previewing the lesson, you are able to preview the specific slide you are working on, the entire scene that the current slide belongs to, or a group of selected slides. Finally, you can publish the lesson in various formats for others to view. The third tab is the Insert tab. This, along with the Home tab, is where you will probably spend most of your time. As the name implies, the Insert tab enables you to insert items onto the slide. Because you are inserting new items onto the slide, almost all icons and options are available to you when you open the tab. There are 7 sections on the Insert tab. They are Slide, AI Assistant, Content Library 360, Media, Text, Interactive Objects, and Publish. The Slide section allows you to add a slide layer, convert the slide to a freeform slide, and insert a zoom region. A slide layer is essentially a slide within a slide. Selecting the Convert to Freeform icon opens a pop-up window and allows you to insert a freeform question slide. A freeform question slide can be used to ask the learner to think about something or do something outside of a standard knowledge check. If you insert a zoom region, the lesson will automatically zoom in on the selected region. You can set when the zoom occurs using the timeline. It is important to know, though you can resize the zoom region, its proportions are fixed, and you cannot adjust the speed the lesson zooms into and out of the selected area. The AI Assistant on the Insert tab has the same options and functionality as it did on the Home tab. The content library contains graphics developed and curated by Articulate for you to use in your lesson. The character's icon will give you a selection of photographic and illustrated avatars you can use. Avatars are a wonderful way to personalize the lesson and to engage the learner. Articulate also has a selection of licensed images, illustrations, icons, and videos for you to download and use. When you select one of these icons, you will see a pop-up window with a search field. Enter a word describing what you are looking for, and the library will give you options fitting your search criteria. The media section is divided into 2 halves, where you will insert self-generated audio and visual elements. If you select the picture icon, you will be inserting an image from your computer, but if you select the down arrow, you can select an image from somewhere else in the lesson, an AI-generated image or a screen capture image. The 360-degree image icon allows you to insert photos taken by a 360-degree camera. Selecting the shape icon will always open a drop-down menu to create a custom-sized shape, such as a rectangle, circle, arrow, or star. The equation icon will open a window where you can type in an equation or formula to be displayed on the slide. The right half is used to insert audio tracks and videos, along with linking to an external website outside of the lesson. The text section is used to insert textual elements on the screen. Initially, the symbol, reference, and hyperlink options will be grayed out. But when you are typing in a text box or table, you will be able to use these icons. The Interactive Objects section contains pre-programmed element that you can insert and customize. The button icon will insert a shape the learner can select. The button will have pre-programmed states that tell the learner if he or she is able to select the button or not. The slider and dial perform the same function. They just have a different-looking interface for the learner. Both items will have a customizable numerical variable and the ability to adjust the number of positions. A hotspot is a region on the slide the learner can select. It differs from the button in that the region is transparent and it doesn't have the pre-programmed stated. Think of it as a shape with no fill and no outline. This can be handy if you are having the learner select a specific item on the slide. The input object will insert a checkbox or a radio button. Radio buttons are the selectable circles you see on an electronic survey to the left of the answer options. The marker icon will insert a small circular icon. When the user hovers over the icon marker, a caption window will appear and giving the learner additional information. Triggers are used to tell the lesson to do something. When you select the trigger icon, a wizard will open allowing you to set the parameters for that item and action. If you have limited space for an item, you can use a scrolling panel to allow the learner to scroll vertically through the material. If you are creating a screen capture video, Storyline will insert the mouse actions for you. The mouse options will allow you to add additional mouse actions. Finally, we have the Publish section. You have the same options as you did on the Home tab, but have to use the down arrow to see them. As we move to the right, the next tab is the Slides tab, and it has 4 sections: Slide, Quizzing, Record, and Publish. The Slides section gives you the ability to insert a new slide. The Content Library icon will allow you to insert one of Articulate's pre-developed templates, while the My Templates icon will allow you to insert a template that you created. Templates can be an excellent tool to shorten the development timeline. The My Slide icon will allow you to insert a slide based on your master slide layouts, and the Import icon will allow you to import slides and questions from Microsoft PowerPoint, Articulate Quizmaker, Engage, or Storyline, or questions saved in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. The second section, Quizzing, is used to create questions and question banks. There are 3 different types of questions: graded, survey, and free-form. A graded question can be used as a knowledge check. The learner will be given a question, and the answer will be checked to see if it is correct or not. A survey question is effectively an ungraded question. You can use this to have the learner give his or her thoughts on a subject, where there isn't a need to verify the learner knows the correct answer. A free-form question will require the learner to perform some sort of activity, like dragging an item from one position on the screen to a different location. A results slide can be used to let the learner know the results of the knowledge check, or to let the learning management system if the learner passed the knowledge check. You don't have to generate each question individually. Instead, you can develop a question bank that will randomly select questions to ask the user. The Record section gives you the ability to create a screen capture video. You can record yourself performing a process or using a piece of software within Storyline. This could eliminate the need for a second software package and then uploading the video into the lesson. Like before, the far right section gives you the ability to preview and publish the lesson. Moving on to the Design tab, this is where we can initially set the look and feel of the learner's experience. The Design tab enables you to set the dimensions of the content window, provide you with pre-built themes, adjust the general background, and again, publish the lesson. If you or your organization has established a standard look for your e-learning with what the screen size should be, the preferred fonts and approved colors to match your organization's branding, you probably won't use this tab very often. The Design tab has 4 sections: Slide Size, Themes, Background, and Publish. When you select the Slide Size icon, you will see a pop-up window appear. This window will give you the ability to adjust the dimensions of the screen size in pixels. The higher the number, the more pixels per inch and higher resolution. The second section is the Themes section. This is where you can assign a theme or preferred colors and fonts to the entire lesson. As you can see, Storyline has pre-built themes for you to use. By selecting the down arrow on the right side of the section, you will open a drop-down window showing you all of the themes available to you. You can also upload a theme that was saved on your hard drive and save a theme you have created for future use. At the far right side of the section are the color and fonts icons. Selecting these icons also open up drop-down windows showing you pre-built options for you to select and use in your lesson. At the bottom of both drop-down windows, you can create your own preferred color palette or create a new font style to use throughout the lesson. The background section will allow you to adjust the look of the slide's content area. After you have identified your theme, you can adjust the white space on the slide, so it's not just blank space. You are able to add a gradients to the background so the lesson doesn't look flat and boring, or you can insert a background image that speaks to the lesson's message and objectives. Like on other tabs, you also have the ability to publish the lesson from the Design tab. Storyline is a slide-based e-learning authoring software tool. This means that you insert the content you want the user to learn on individual slides. The number of slides in the lesson is dependent upon the amount of information you need to include in the lesson and the amount of information on each slide. Transitions allow the brain to reset as the learner proceeds from one slide to the next slide, and the Transitions tab is where you control what the user sees, if anything, As he or she moves from slide to slide, there are two sections to the Transitions tab: Transitions to this slide and Publish. The Transitions to Slide section has a drop-down menu showing tiles that visually represent what the user will see, going from one slide to the next slide. At the far right of the drop-down is an Effect Options icon. This will be grayed out until you select a transition. The options available for the transition are dependent on the specific effect you choose to use. You can also set the transition's duration and whether it applies only to this slide or all slides in the lesson. Again, you can preview and publish the lesson at the far right side of the ribbon. Animations are important to the learning process because they keep the learner engaged, and they help the learner focus on what the audio narration is discussing. There are 7 sections on the Animations tab. They are Advanced, Entrance Animations, Exit Animations, Emphasis Animations, Motion Paths, Size and Position, and Publish. If you do not have anything selected on the slide, the ribbon will be completely grayed out and unavailable for you to select. Once you select an item on the slide, you will have the ability to add an animated action to that item. The Animation Painter in the Advanced section allows you to paste one item's animation to a different object. Entrance animations are tied to the appearance of an object on the slide. You can set the length of the animation and use the timeline to determine when exactly the object will appear on the slide. You are also able to set the effect options. Each of the animations will have different options. For example, the wipe animation could appear from the left, top, right, or bottom of the object toward the opposite side. Then you can add where the item enters from. You could have the object enter the slide from the bottom right corner and move to the location as the object is wiped on. Finally, you can have the animation appear all as one object or individual items. The Exit Animation section works exactly the same way, but instead of being tied to the appearance of the item, the animation is tied to its disappearance. The Emphasis Animations section allows you to create your list of emphasis animations. You can then add a trigger to the object with the emphasis animation for the animation to occur. Selecting the down arrow on the Add Emphasis Animation icon will give you a drop-down menu for these animations. You can then select the specific animation you want and add it to the Quick Select area. Once in the Quick Select area, you can select it and add the duration and effect options. Again, the effect options are different for each animation. You can then remove an emphasis animation from the Quick Select area by selecting the trash can. Motion paths give an item movement from one position to a different position on the slide. They can be their own animation, or they can be part of an entrance or exit animation. When this happens, the motion will occur either before or after the entrance or exit animation, depending on how you program the triggers. Once you assign the motion path to the object, you will be able to set the duration, give the motion path a unique name, and establish the rules for that specific motion path. You wouldn't think that adjusting the size and position would have anything to do with animations, but having the section on the Animation tab is extremely useful when setting up an object's motion path. The Size and Position section has 4 text entry fields. The X field is the horizontal position, and the Y field is the vertical position. These two values are the object's upper left corner. So if you have 0, 0 coordinates, the object would be on the slide's left and top edges. Remember, the width and height are the object's size. Both sets of values are measured in pixels. You can then select the arrow pointing to the bottom right corner to open a pop-up window where you can also enter the size and position. Finally, we have the Publish section where we can preview the lesson or publish so others can view it. As we continue from left to right, the next tab is the View tab. This tab has 5 sections: Views, Accessibility Checker, Grid and Guides, Zoom, and Publish. The Views tab has 5 options: Story View, Slide Master, and Media Library. Selecting the Story View is a simple way to switch between the Story View and the Slide View. The Slide Master and Feedback Master icons provide you a way to set up layout that can be used across the entire lesson. Selecting the Slide Master icon will open a new window that looks like the Slide View. Instead of seeing the slides that are in the current scene, you can create and edit slide layouts that could be used throughout the entire lesson. Selecting the Feedback Master will do the same thing, but instead of creating and editing a slide layout, you are creating and editing the layouts the learner will see when they correctly or incorrectly answer a question. The accessibility checker will review the lesson and identify any issues related to visual or auditory disabilities that learners may have when taking the lesson. You will then be given the ability to address and correct those issues. Next is the grid and gridline section. The ruler checkbox will turn on or off the ruler at the top and left sides of the content area. This ruler is measured in pixels and gives you a quick guide to know an item's location and how it fits on the slide. Selecting the grid lines and guides checkboxes will place in grid on the slide. Having the grid on the screen can assist you and ensure items are aligned and spaced on the slide. The grid and guides icon will open a pop-up window and give you the ability to set your parameters for the grid and guidelines appearance. You have the ability to undock or unlock each of the panels surrounding the content area and position them. This will give you the ability to move those panels to another monitor and give yourself a larger content area to work in. The Redock All Windows icon will take all of those windows and return them to the default location surrounding the content area window. The Zoom icon in the Zoom section will open a pop-up window where you can zoom into or out from the slide. There are preset values, or you can enter a desired zoom value. The Fit to Window automatically resizes the slide to the maximum value where the it will appear in the content window. The last section, like on all the other windows, will be the Publish section, and it has all of the same abilities as the other tabs. The last tab is the Help tab. Here, you have 4 sections: Help and Support, Community, Articulate Storyline, and Publish. In the Help and Support section, you are able to get specific help from Articulate Support or from other Articulate users. The Tutorials icon will take you to video tutorials developed by Storyline or recorded Articulate hosted webinars helping you learn how to use Storyline. This can be especially helpful when Articulate releases a new feature. One of the biggest strengths of not only Storyline, but Articulate, the company, is its community. Articulate has intentionally curated guides, blogs, and forums designed to help Articulate users help Articulate users. The Articulate Storyline section has icons to take you directly to Articulate's website, identify which version of Storyline you are using, and identify what third-party software is incorporated into your version of Storyline. Lastly, we have the Publish section, which has the same capabilities as the Publish section on the other 7 tabs we've already discussed. I hope you were able to learn something from this video. If you enjoyed it and want more videos on how to use Articulate Storyline, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you and have a good day!